close your eyes and drift back in time. Before the hum of cities, before the blink of neon light, there was only the hush of wind, the crackle of fire, and the distant toll of bells echoing through forgotten hills. Now take a breath, soft, slow, like dust settling in an empty cathedral. Imagine a world of stone and storm, where shoes were made of wood, and water was drawn from a whispering well, and the stars, oh the stars, were maps for the lost and brave alike. Imagine a world where kings rode armored beasts, and peasants dreamed of bread, where wolves howled just beyond the hedges, and monks wrote secrets by candlelight. But not all was grim and cruel. There were stories, stories that now sleep beneath the moss, waiting for you to find them. Tonight, you shall walk the shadowed roads of long-lost villages, hear the creak of leather saddles and the rustle of banners in the wind. You'll smell the smoke of winter fires and feel the ache of armor on your chest. And maybe, just maybe, a dragon will pass overhead, not loudly, not with fire, but slowly, quietly, like a thought too old to name. This is not a tale of glory. This is not a tale of triumph. This is a tale for rest, for letting go of clocks, of screens, of everything too bright to see the stars. So let us begin, not with a bang, but with the soft turning of a page, somewhere in the year 1100, when the world was colder and dreams were lit by flame. Begin by breathing slowly, not the breath of cities, not the kind that dodges crowds or slips between elevator doors. This breath is old. It belongs to trees. It belongs to rivers that have no names and stones worn smooth by centuries of footsteps. Breathe as the earth breathes, quiet, patient, low. Now, gently close your eyes and let the veil draw back. The modern world falls behind. The lights, the glass, the wires, the noise, they melt away like frost under a spring sun. All that remains is air and earth and a valley waiting in silence. You are not dreaming. You are remembering something older than memory. The year. You do not need it. Numbers have no meaning here. This land is measured in seasons, in harvests, in the slow cycle of breath between moonrise and firelight. Ahead of you lies a village, not the kind found in paintings, but the kind the earth gave permission to exist. 12 houses, bent and bowed with age, leaning into the wind like old farmers too tired to stand straight. The roofs are made of straw, bound with twine and softened by rain. Soot has crept into every corner. Smoke curls from holes in the roof like sighs rising to the clouds. There is no road, just a path, a muddy ribbon woven by feet, hooves, wheels, and the passing of time. The air is thick with scent, wet wood, cold ashes, the sour, sweet smell of sheep, the ghost of a rosemary bush clinging to life beside the door of a thatched hut, damp wool drying near the hearth, and beneath it all, the deep, rich perfume of soil. The kind of soil that remembers, that holds the footprints of the dead, that whispers back to every step you take. You feel it underfoot, springy, slick, and soft. A memory of yesterday's rain still clings to it, making your feet sink just slightly with every step, as if the earth itself wants to hold you, pull you in, keep you. You pass the first house. Its door is made of planks unevenly cut. A leather hinge groans, opens, then closes again. A child steps out, barefoot, carrying a carved spoon as long as her forearm. Her tunic is too large, fraying at the hem. Her eyes are sleepy. She does not smile. She simply watches you pass as if you were a ghost, and she already knows your name. You enter the village without a sound. To your left, a pen of pigs, snorting softly in the straw. One of them blinks up at you, then collapses into a puddle of mud with a grunt. There is something ancient in its gaze, as though it remembers the warmth of the world before fire. To your right, a man stacking wood. Not for today, for winter, always for winter. He does not look at you. He hums a song with no words, just a rhythm. Stack, turn, breathe. Stack, turn, breathe. Now the hearths have begun to wake. You smell the stew long before you see it. Thick broth, dark and heavy, with roots pulled from frozen ground. Potatoes, parsnips. Wild onion. If there is meat, it is only bone. But it is warm, and that is enough. Through the slit of a crooked doorway, you glimpse the orange flicker of flame. A woman crouches beside it, adding dried nettles to a pot. She does not stir quickly. Her hand moves in circles, slow as the moon. There is peace in her slowness, a kind of prayer. And above her, hanging from beams stained black by years of smoke, bundles of herbs sway gently with the draft. Lavender, bay, sage. Their scent is soft, like the fading breath of last summer. You walk on. The forge is ahead, cold for now. Its mouth is closed, its coals black and resting. But even in sleep, the anvil shines, not with polish, but with purpose. As if it remembers the sparks, the ringing of metal, the shaping of fate. A hammer leans against it, its handle worn smooth, darkened by the touch of hundreds of hands, each one long buried. You find yourself at the well. It stands in the center of the village like a stone sentinel. A wooden bucket hangs by a rope, still wet from the last drawing. Water drips from its base. Plink, plink. Each drop echoes in the empty morning. You run your fingers along its rim. The stone is cold and older than anything else here. This well has seen storms. It has seen famine. It has seen lovers meet under the stars and children fall in by mistake. It has never told a soul. Now the wind shifts. It carries something new. Far beyond the hills, something creaks. Not a voice, not thunder, but wood and leather and iron. A cart, a gate, a distant siege machine still dreaming of war. It is far, but it is real, and the valley hears it too. But still, the village moves, slowly, steadily, refusing to rush, refusing to fear. A man walks by, pulling a sack over his shoulder. It spills grain with every step. He does not notice. He does not care. A cat stalks between houses, silent, grey, its eyes like melted bronze. It pauses to stare at you. It sees you. Not your clothes, not your thoughts. You. Then it moves on. You climb the rise. A hill just beyond the fields, where wildflowers bloom even in the cold. The grass is wet. Your breath is visible. Your fingers are numb. At the top, you see it all. The curve of the valley, the smoke rising in lazy spirals, the shapes of people beginning their day without knowing how close history walks. And far, far beyond, a fortress carved into the grey. Stone towers, high walls, no flag flies, no horn sound. But still, it watches, waiting, and yet, this is not fear. This is not warning. This is the pause that all stories begin with, before the dragon flies, before the sword is raised, before names are etched into parchment and dates are carved into stone. This is the breath before the storm. And in that breath, you are whole. There is no hurry, no duty, no war, not yet. Only this moment, only this silence, only this long, gentle unfolding of a morning no one remembers but you. Let your mind return once more to that quiet place beyond time. Let the modern world fade like ink in rain. Let the light around you dim. Let the silence stretch like a road unrolled into the distance. You feel it again, don't you? That soft pressure in your chest. Not fear, not excitement, but a kind of knowing. You're being called backward, not by sound, but by gravity. The gentle pull of history, drawing you into the earth's long dream. You are not walking now, you are gliding, a low drift, as if your body has turned to mist, as if your feet no longer belong to the present. Beneath you, the land is changing. The hills rise gently, then dip, then rise again, forming a cradle of earth meant to hold something ancient. You float over a forest of twisted oaks, their leaves yellow and brown, shivering in the wind. Crows pass beneath your gaze. They cry once, not in warning, but in welcome. Then the trees part, and you see it, a field, but not an empty one. The air smells of breath and sweat and steel and tension. The kind of tension that feels like the last inhale before a long-held note. The kind of quiet that trembles at the edge of thunder. This is Hastings, though no one here says the word. To them, it is simply a place, a rise of earth, a patch of ground chosen by fate to remember forever. You're hovering over Senlac Hill, a name that will be carved in history, but for now is only grass, wet with dew, stamped down by the boots of men who do not know they are being watched by the future. To the south, the Normans. Duke William's banners rise from the fog, painted gold on crimson. A lion, a cross, a wind-torn shape. Below them, men armored like beetles, shields round and shining, helms glinting even in this clouded light. Their horses paw the earth. Steam rises from nostrils wide and afraid. The men speak in French, but few speak loudly. You pass among them. You feel the tremble of excitement, the ache in their thighs from days in the saddle, the clatter of swords adjusting on hips, the rustle of mailed sleeves brushing against flesh. You hear a priest muttering a blessing. His fingers shake as he signs the cross on the brow of a young man who closes his eyes too tightly. The boy smells of lavender oil, rubbed into his hair by a mother he did not hug before leaving. To the north, the English. King Harold's shield wall is forming. A wall not of stone, but of men. Flesh and will and wood and faith. Their shields press together like bark. Their axes hang at their sides, weighted with stories. These men have walked far. They have already fought. Some wear bandages beneath their armor. Others wear grief. You drift past one, a man with grizzled hair and hollow eyes. He fingers a scrap of cloth tied around his wrist. It is red and stained, and it matters more to him than any king. You feel the sky now, heavy, low, grey as ash water. Clouds thick with silence. The sun does not shine. It watches. The wind carries no bird song, only breath, a trumpet, one long note, flat and wavering. Then the beat of drums, dull and distant, like the heartbeat of the earth beneath your feet. A murmur spreads, a ripple through both camps. Not quite fear, not quite readiness, something else. The moment when men begin to accept that they may not live to see the next sun. You drift higher, watching both sides stretch like mirrors. One side armored and mounted, the other rooted and braced. The line between them, an invisible string ready to snap. The Normans advance, slowly, measured. Not a charge yet, just a walk, a procession toward fate. Hooves churn the grass. Shields rise like petals. The archers step forward. They kneel. And then, a single arrow flies. It whistles through the sky like a sigh too sharp. Then another and another, until the air becomes rain, not of water, but of wood and iron. The arrows fall like needles. Some strike shields with a wooden thunk. Some find no shield. You pass through them untouched. You see the eyes of those who fall. They do not close immediately. They look upward, as if expecting a god to explain this moment. The English do not run. They stand. Their axes swing. Their feet stay rooted. They fight not like soldiers, but like sons protecting a doorway. You see King Harold now. He is not grand, not radiant, but steady. His voice carries across the field. A deep, rasping call, half command, half prayer. He lifts his sword once. The men around him answer with a roar so low it seems to shake the mist itself. And still, they hold. The battle surges, charge, clash, push, pull. The Normans feint, retreat, return. A horse rears, its rider falling, trampled beneath hooves not his own. A soldier lifts a fallen banner, with hands shaking too much to grip it straight. A knight falls to his knees, blood seeping through links of mail, muttering his daughter's name like a shield against death. Time begins to blur. You no longer see the minutes. Only motion, only color, only pain and dust and courage. And then, there is silence. Not everywhere, just in one place, where the shield wall breaks, where King Harold falls. Some say it is an arrow, some say it is a sword, some say it is fate. In this moment, this dream, he drops to one knee. His sword falls from his hand. He looks up. You are near enough now to see his lips form a word. It is not a curse, not a cry. It is a name. You do not know whose. Then, he is gone. And with him, the wall begins to fall. The Normans advance again. This time not with precision, but with hunger, with relief, with exhaustion. It is over soon after. What remains are bodies, crushed grass, broken spears, and silence. The smoke rises lazily. The wind returns, and the crows arrive. You float above it all now. The sun at last breaks the cloud. It is not triumphant. It is gentle. Its light touches the face of a fallen man with the same warmth it once gave him as a boy, running through a summer field, laughing at nothing. And far away, the sea waits. The waves do not know who won. You drift backward now, up, away from Hastings, away from blood, away from history. But you carry something with you, a smell, a sound, a single face, the echo of a battle that shaped the world, told in whispers, in shadows, in soft breath as you fall asleep. The storm has passed, but the world has changed. Sleep now, traveler. There are still many roads to walk, many battles to see, many dreams to unwrap. But for tonight, let the ground rest, let the blades go dull, and let your thoughts drift like smoke into a sky that remembers everything. The road bends northward, and the air sharpens with every step. The trees thin, the sky pales, The wind no longer dances, it presses. It scrapes against your cheeks like a whisper made of stone. The land here does not welcome. It tolerates. It watches with indifference. It does not forget. Your breath comes slow. Each exhale a white cloud that drifts upward, joining the sky's endless hush. The snow beneath your boots is not soft. It is packed, layered by storms, ice woven through like veins in bone. Somewhere behind you, the world you know fades. Soft fires, fields of wheat, children's songs. Gone now, like pages turned in a book you no longer carry. The hills rise ahead, and there, cut from the belly of the earth, anchored by mountain and myth, the castle. Not pretty, not proud, but vast. Its towers rise like broken fingers from a clenched fist of stone. Its walls are not white or gold or grand. They are grey, charred at the edges, blackened where ancient fires licked too close. The windows are slits, not for looking out, but for watching in, for shooting arrows and seeing who dares approach. A raven circles above. It does not caw. It simply turns, one black spiral above the keep, and then is gone. The outer wall waits. The drawbridge is down. A slab of timber nailed and nailed again. Chains creak with the weight of wind. You cross slowly. Beneath it, no water, only ice. So dark it reflects nothing. So still it holds a silence deeper than sound. Each step echoes, not because the castle is empty, but because it remembers how to listen. You pass through the gates. They are carved with old runes, long since eroded, as though time itself tried to forget what they said. A row of torches lines the corridor within. Their flames burn blue-white. Their smoke is cold. It curls downward, licking the stones like tongues of fog. And the smell, you stop. You breathe it in. It is not the scent of war, not blood or fire. It is age. The scent of worn leather and oiled mail, of snow melting into hearth ash, of rust, of old barley cooked too long in cracked pots, of tallow candles that have burned for generations, and under it all, like a thread you barely notice, the scent of pine, of fresh split logs stacked somewhere, not to burn now, but next year. The courtyard is nearly empty. A frozen trough stands crooked beside a stable, its rim crusted with frost. The horses inside do not whinny. They stamp slowly. They breathe steam. One man stands nearby, wrapping a saddle in cloth. He does not speak. He does not look at you, but you feel seen. Another man leads a mule past, its hooves muffled by straw. He mutters a song beneath his breath, words in a tongue older than yours. The mule blinks slowly as it passes you. A raven watches from the gable above, not moving, not blinking. You do not look too long. Then you are inside. The keep swallows you. The door closes behind, heavy, final. Inside, darkness, then dimness, then color. Not bright, but deep. Dark reds, faded blues, greens dulled by centuries of smoke. Tapestries hang like sleeping giants from the walls. They ripple with the draft. Knights ride in frozen stitchwork. Beasts bear embroidered teeth. A queen weeps in the corner of one panel, forever stitched into her grief. You move down a hallway so narrow, your shoulders brush the stone. It's warmer here, but not from fire, from history. Every stone holds warmth, soaked in over lifetimes. Here a prince ran as a boy. There a servant knelt with bloodied knees. Hear a lady's footstep pause before choosing silence over truth. You feel them. You are not alone. Then the great hall. You enter like smoke. No one turns. The fire in the center is long and low, banked in ash. Its coals glow a sullen orange. Around it, a half circle of people. Some sitting, some standing, one sleeping, speaks in slow murmurs, their words falling like coals into snow. A game board sits on a table. Stone pieces shaped like horses, ravens, treatises and trees. None are winning. A pot stews near the hearth. Its scent curls up into your nose. Onion, marrow, bones long boiled to softness, salt, cabbage, the ghost of pepper. And beneath it, again, rosemary. The castle loves rosemary. You are taken up the tower. No one asks where you are from. No one asks who sent you. No one asks at all. They simply nod, as if you've returned from something inevitable. The stairs curve, stone upon stone. Each step uneven, each echo fainter than the last. You pass windows, thin slits of wind and ice. Beyond them, only snow, spinning sideways in the dusk. You pass doors, closed tight, each with a different symbol, a tree, a sword, a key, a name scratched out. You pass no mirrors. They would not work here. The final room is high, quiet, round. A hearth burns at the center, its flame golden, its smoke trailing up and out into the hidden sky. Fur-lined chairs circle it, empty, waiting. On the table beside one chair, a map, ink-stained and torn at the edge. No labels, only lines, mountains, a red mark in the north, and a cup, still warm. You sit. The heat reaches slowly into your bones, not enough to melt, but enough to rest. Above you, the ceiling is painted, a night sky, but not one you know. The constellations are unfamiliar. Dragons, towers, stags with 7 eyes. They shimmer faintly, as if lit from behind by something no longer living. The lady arrives. Her boots make no sound. Her cloak is dark velvet, trimmed with frost, not fur, not gold. Her eyes are the color of quartz, grey with a shimmer of something else. Memory, maybe. Stormlight, moon glow. She does not speak, but she sits. She pours tea. The steam rises. It smells of wild mint, birch bark, blackberries gathered before frost. She slides it to you. You drink. The heat is gentle. The taste is dark, woody, with a sweetness you can't place. You breathe deeper, slower, you listen. And she begins to hum. No words, just a melody, low, layered. And as she hums, you see a king riding alone beneath an eclipse, a daughter sewing a letter she cannot send, a soldier losing his name in the snow, a knight burying a sword instead of drawing it, a queen smiling through frostbitten lips. You see yourself years ago or years from now, walking these same halls under a different name. The castle remembers, and so do you. Sleep comes slowly, not because it hesitates, but because it honors the moment. Outside, the snow deepens. Inside, the fire cracks softly. You do not feel your body anymore. Only warmth, only memory, only quiet. You are in the cold castles of the north. And here, you are safe. Safe in silence. Safe in stone. Safe in story. Let it hold you until the next page turns. Draw the blankets higher now. Let your body sink heavier. Let the world around you begin to soften. Walls fading, light dimming, sound falling away like the last leaves of autumn. You are not where you were. You are stepping back, not by hours, but by centuries, not by motion, but by memory. And in this chapter of sleep and shadow, you do not walk toward firelight. You walk toward stillness, toward the year when silence had a name, toward a time when people whispered not because they feared being heard, but because they feared being breathed upon. Let me take you to the year the plague came to town, but softly, not with screams, not with horror, but like velvet, slow, smooth and cold. It begins with the wind, not sharp, not howling, but low, close, like breath on your neck from something you cannot see. You're walking a road that once led to markets, to fountains, to bells ringing at vespers. Now it leads only inward, into a city of hushed voices, barred windows, and candlelight behind curtains. The sky is the color of tarnished silver. The clouds do not move, they watch. You pull your cloak tighter, not because it is cold, but because something has changed in the air. It smells of ash, of damp earth, of lavender hung above doorways and crushed underfoot, of flowers no longer given in love, but in defense. You pass under a stone arch, faded Latin carved overhead. God watches, he waits. The streets are narrower here, winding between buildings, leaning inward like eavesdropping monks. Shutters are closed, windows covered, doors bear symbols, a red X, a black mark, a circle with a slash through its heart. The silence is not empty. It listens. It has weight. It presses on your shoulders like snow before the avalanche. And then, a sound. Wheels. Wooden wheels over stone. A cart, drawn slowly. Not pulled by a team, but by one man. You do not see his face. Only the long, beaked mask curved like a raven's nose, stuffed with herbs. Rosemary, mint, wormwood, rose petals. He walks slowly, head bowed. In the back of the cart, a sheet. It does not move. It does not need to. Everyone already knows what lies beneath it. He does not knock. He does not cry out. He simply leaves the cart in front of the cathedral steps and walks away. Inside the chapel, a candle still burns. It smells like beeswax and something fainter, a kind of hope that has dried at the edges. You step inside. The chapel is empty, or nearly. A priest kneels alone at the altar. His robes are patched. His hands tremble. He is not praying. He is whispering a name, again and again, like a heartbeat. You do not disturb him. You look to the stained glass, once bright, now dim. Dust clings to the colored panes. The saints have no answers today. On a pew nearby, a child sleeps. A doll clutched to her chest. She breathes, softly, like moth wings. You feel your own breath catch, then let it go. You walk on, into the alleys now, where the plague lived before the rest of the city noticed. Here, the air is tighter, the doors closer. A bucket has spilled. Water seeps into a crack and freezes there. It will not melt this week. A cat watches you from a rooftop. Its eyes reflect the grey of the sky. It does not run. No one runs anymore. You come to a house, small, stone. The door is slightly open. It groans as you push it. Inside, warmth, fire, barely, but enough to smell. Turnip stew, dried meat, stale bread soaked in broth. A woman sits near the hearth. Her face is tired, but she is singing. A lullaby. Old words, half lost to time. In her lap, a baby, too quiet. She rocks slowly. Back, forth, back again. You stay a moment longer than you should, then close the door behind you. There are stories still, in the city. Not all are tragedy. Some are strange. In a hidden courtyard, you find a masked figure painting on a wall. A mural, bright colors, children dancing, birds flying, a field of poppies where no poppies grow. He does not look at you. He paints, because someone must remember joy, even now, especially now. In the cellar of a tavern, you find a man playing a lute, not for an audience, for the rats. They sit in a line watching him. Their whiskers twitch in rhythm. He plays a tune once banned by the church. You hum it as you leave. And in a narrow room above an abandoned tailor's shop, a young woman sews masks, hundreds, stacks of them, each one embroidered with flowers, with stars, with the names of those she lost. When you try to speak, she places a finger to her lips, then hands you one, and smiles. And still, the velvet cloak moves. You never see its face, only the edges of its fabric, trailing behind a closing door, folded into the shadow of a stair, laying carefully over a hand that will not rise again. It walks with patience. It takes its time, but it is not cruel, not malicious, only certain. It brushes your shoulder as you walk past a graveyard. You do not shudder. You only pause and keep walking. Eventually, the city thins. The buildings lower. The roads widen. Beyond the gates, hills, wind, space to breathe. And you do. You draw breath deeply. You let it fill your lungs. You let it remind you that you are still here, still walking, still watching, not untouched, but surviving. Behind you, the city sleeps again, not in terror, not in mourning, but in quiet, in slow rebirth, in the dream between one heartbeat and the next. The plague wore a velvet cloak, but velvet, for all its grace, fades in sunlight. And the sun, though weak, still rises. Sleep now. Let what you saw fade gently. Let the hush of that city become the hush of your room. Let your breath slow. You've walked through sorrow, through shadow, through silent miracles. Now rest. Tomorrow, there will be more stories, and the world, though quieter, still turns. Sink now, deeper. Let go of the weight in your limbs. Let the warmth of your blanket hold you like old armor, soft where it used to be hard, familiar as breath. Tonight, we walk where even history holds its breath. We go beyond the gates of the living, past the crowded feasts and bright torches, past the clamor of banners and the roar of drums. We go into a quieter place, a field, a night, a memory. And in that memory, beneath a sky untouched by firelight, a lone knight kneels, his thoughts as heavy as the sword sunk in the earth before him. He is not a hero tonight, not a soldier, not a tale to be told. He is a man, and this is the lament he offers to the moon. The land is silver, not with snow, but with dew and starlight, and the hush that follows after everything ends. A wide open field, rimmed with black trees, stretching like cathedral spires toward the stars. The air is cool, not biting, but alive, filled with the scent of crushed wild thyme, of last season's leaves gone soft and damp, of leather long exposed to salt and wind. In the distance, an owl calls. Its voice floats over the grass like a question no one dares answer. There is no road here, no walls, no campfires, only grass and sky, and the man in the center. He kneels in silence, his armor still on, plate and mail, bent at the edge of one pauldron, a crack in the leather beneath his elbow. It is not polished. This is not parade armor. This is not a ceremony. This is the armor of someone who rode far and did not expect to return. You hear the creak of it as he shifts his weight, the sigh of grass beneath his knees, the faint clink of chain. And still, he does not speak. The moon is bright above, full and high and watching. It catches in the grooves of his sword, a long, well-worn blade thrust into the ground before him like a gravestone, or a marker left for someone who will never come back. You can feel its presence, the sword, the man, the silence. It presses into your chest like a held breath. You want to speak, you want to ask, what did you lose? But you do not, because you know somehow that he has not yet found the words himself. Then a sound, low, rough, like boots through wet leaves. A horse in the distance? No, only wind. It curls around him like a ghost, lifting the edge of his cloak. A thick, midnight blue thing, tattered at the hem, stained where rain once fell, where someone once wept into his shoulder before he rode off. He reaches into it now. His hand comes back with something small, a strip of linen. Wrapped around it, a ring, simple, iron, not made for ceremony, made for someone who didn't care about gold. He stares at it. You cannot see his face, but you feel the way the memory holds him. And then he speaks. His voice is like stone under water, worn smooth, deep, carrying weight without force. I rode with brothers once, 7 of us, laughed louder than we swung swords, believed in the crown, in the cause, in each other. He pauses. The wind replies, a sigh through tall grass. We came home fewer each time. He takes a long breath, then another. And now, I return alone. Not to glory, not to coin, just to memory. He removes his left gauntlet. The sound of leather straps unfastening echoes like the undoing of time. His hand is scarred, fingers slightly twisted at the knuckles. Not ruined, just used too often. He reaches out and touches the hilt of the sword, not to draw it, not to fight, to steady himself. Above, the moon watches, a patient, pale guardian. The stars blink slowly, as if they, too, are mourning. You feel the night grow deeper. It has no threat, no teeth, only space. A wide, aching space where sorrow is allowed to breathe. He speaks again. There was a boy, red hair, freckles, always outpaced the rest of us in the charge. Fell laughing, arrow to the throat. He swallows. A girl too, wore armor better than I ever did, saved me twice, once from a blade, once from myself. He touches the ring again. She gave me this, said if I wore it, I'd never forget who I was. I wore it. I forgot anyway. The grass stirs. Fireflies, faint and rare, begin to rise from the soil like old promises. They blink slowly, not in haste, but like bells tolling far away. He closes his eyes. You feel it, though you cannot see it. And you feel something else. The shift. The moment when grief becomes release. Not gone. Never gone. But softened, held more gently by the body that carries it. He lifts his head. He does not stand. Not yet. He looks at the moon. For a long time. He does not pray. But the silence between them is enough. Then, finally, he rises. The armor creaks again. The knees take a moment. The shoulders roll once. He leaves the sword where it stands, not as a weapon, not as a symbol, as a memory. He places the ring on the hilt and turns. He walks away slowly toward the edge of the field, where the trees bow to the sky. He does not look back, but something tells you he no longer needs to. And you remain, lying back now, listening. The crickets begin again. The grass shifts. The stars blink. The moon remains. You smell the wild thyme, the cool iron in the wind, the faintest hint of honey and old leather, and your breath, soft now, even, joins the rhythm of the world. You lie beside the sword, not as a warrior, but as a dreamer, and the night holds you just the same. Breathe gently now. Let your body grow still. Let your ribs lift like the rise of a distant dune, and fall again like a tent settling in wind. Close your eyes. The room you're in is no longer made of walls. It is wide, open, borderless, a realm of sun-choked air and rolling sand. You ride a caravan that stretches like a line drawn by a steady hand across a canvas too vast to imagine. You are far from stone and forest, far from the feasts of kings and the bells of churches, far from the cold rain of your homeland. You are somewhere else now, somewhere older, somewhere endless. The caravan wakes before the sun. The stars are still visible when the first camel's grown. The fires are nothing but smouldering ash, their smoke rising in thin blue ribbons. Someone coughs, another stirs. A blade is drawn, not to fight, but to slice bread stiff with cold. The bread cracks. Water is poured from a goatskin. It steams faintly in the air. You sit up slowly. Your body aches in places you had forgotten to feel. Your knees, your lower back, your palms calloused from holding the reins too long. Your cloak is heavy with dust, its folds stiff, its scent a mixture of sweat, sandalwood and smoke. You are tired, but not unwell, just used by the road and the way it teaches you to endure without question. The sky brightens, not with color, but with the withdrawal of night. A pale silver washes over the world. Shadows stretch and disappear. And the sand, oh the sand, it comes alive. It glows faintly at first, the way embers glow before they remember fire. By the time the sun climbs, the land is alight. White gold, sharp-edged, uncaring. And still you ride. The sound of travel is soft. The pad of camels' feet, muffled by centuries of passage. The creak of leather harnesses. The slow, rhythmic jangle of metal rings, like distant bells underwater. The thud of a tired hoof against rock. The voice of the wind, dragging ancient stories across the sand, too dry to understand. No birds here, no rivers, only mirages, and the breath of the desert itself, hot and slow, curling across your skin. You pass another group at midday, a small caravan, only 7 riders. They do not stop. They nod once slowly. You nod back. No words are exchanged. They are not needed. They are heading west. You do not ask what they left behind. You do not ask what they found. You already know. Everyone out here is walking away from something. The land changes slowly. Subtle things. The color of the sand, from bone to rust. The shapes of the hills. Once round, now broken, jagged. You pass a stone marker. A tower the height of a man, built of flat, dry slabs. On one side, scratched into the surface, Deus Vult, And below it, in another hand, another tongue. Allah knows the way. You pause a moment. You rest your hand on the stone. You feel how warm it is, how the sun has kissed it every day for 1,000 years, and still it remains. A storm approaches in the evening. Not of rain. Rain is rare here. You've learned that well. No, this is a storm of dust. Rising far off, a red-brown wall that devours the horizon. The guides whistle. Orders are given. Tents are lashed. Faces are covered. You help an old man tie his scarf. His hands shake too much. He thanks you without speaking, a touch to the chest. The storm arrives with a sound like silk tearing, then thickens into a roar. Sand stings your skin. You close your eyes. Everything becomes touch and sound. The wind screams. The camels moan. The world shrinks. And then, quiet. A sudden stillness. The sand falls, and the sky opens again, revealing stars more brilliant than you've ever seen. You make camp beneath them. The fire is small but welcome. You sit around it with 5 others. A woman with a scar across her cheek. Once, a noble's daughter. A young man who carries a book tied to his belt but cannot read. A silent knight. A merchant who jokes often but never laughs. And you, all watching the flames. A pot boils, lentils and dried meat. The scent rises, earthy, familiar, humble. Someone plays a flute. The tune is strange, minor and wandering. You close your eyes and let the notes carry you. Night falls fully, not like in the forests, not like in cities. Here, the night swallows. It takes you in, whole, gentle, without struggle. The wind dies down. The animals lie flat. The fire becomes a whisper of light. You lie back on your bedroll. Your armor is your pillow. Your sword is still beside you, not to defend, but to remind you who you were and who you are becoming. And you begin to dream, not of war, but of the road. You dream of the sound your footsteps made on temple stones in Constantinople, of the blue tiles you saw in a mosque you were told not to enter, how they shimmered like water, of a woman who offered you dates and shade without asking why your cross was stitched to your cloak. You dream of peace, not given, not earned, just felt, like a cool breeze under a tent at dusk, like the scent of myrrh in a merchant's bag, like the silence that comes when every man around you is too tired to pretend. And in that dream, you ride still, through sand, through memory, through time, toward something. Not victory, not absolution, but understanding. You are not what you were when you began this journey, and tomorrow you will be something else again. Sleep now. Let the desert hold you. Let the wind hum its lullaby. Let the fire in your belly cool until it is only warmth. You ride with the caravan, and the caravan rides on, forever. Let the world slip away now. Inhale slowly. Feel your ribs rise like great cathedral arches. Exhale even slower. Let your shoulders fall like a closing gate. There is no more to do, nowhere to go. The siege begins, but not against your body, not against your mind. It begins around a place older than either. It begins around the castle of your dreaming self, a place deep within you, where things are kept even after they are lost. Let us go there together. The castle between worlds, the first thing you feel is the cold. Not a cruel cold, a thoughtful cold, like the air in a church before the candles are lit. It gathers in the corners of your robe. It kisses your cheek through your hood. It presses gently into your boots. You walk up the long road alone, though you sense others walked it before you. Footsteps, worn stone, a rhythm that suggests old processions, perhaps in silence, perhaps in sorrow. Ahead, the castle rises. It is made of grey stone, but not entirely. Some parts are carved from memory, others from dream. You see towers that lean ever so slightly, not from age, but from wistfulness, as if they once wanted to fall, but never quite did. Vines crawl along the walls. They bear no flowers, only tiny bells, made of bone, each one etched with names long forgotten. They chime in the wind, a soft sound, like distant lullabies. The fog arrives. As you reach the main gate, the mist thickens. It comes not like a wave, but like the slow tide of sleep itself. Not sudden, but total. It carries the scent of damp parchment, moss warmed by candlelight, wool cloaks aired after long winters, and underneath, something older, the faint perfume of lavender ground into stone by the hands of monks who used to anoint the dying. You stand before the open gate. No guard challenges you, no bell sounds, no alarm, because in this castle you are not a stranger. You are the one who built it, stone by stone, dream by dream. The halls of memory. Inside, your footsteps do not echo. The air here is heavy with sleep. Everything seems to be holding its breath. Tapestries line the walls, not of knights or saints, but of moments you almost forgot. A child holding your hand in a storm. A table set for someone who never returned. A mirror, fogged from breath but still reflecting hope. You pass doors that open by themselves. Behind one, a long dining hall. Chairs all askew, plates untouched. Food turned to ash. Behind another, a chapel. Its altar set with a single candle. Its flame frozen still in a moment of perfect stillness. A few doors are locked. You do not try to open them. Not tonight. The siege begins. You hear it begin, not with horns, but with silence. Outside the walls, the mist has thickened into presence. It presses gently against the gates. It flows into the cracks, not to invade, not to conquer, but to remind you of the parts of yourself you've tried to forget. The grief, the doubt, the longing. The siege is not an enemy. It is a truth waiting to be let in. The dream remembers what the mind has buried, and so the walls hold, but they tremble. The dreamer's tower, you climb the narrow spiral stairs. The steps are worn into gentle curves. Each one feels like the turning of a page. You carry no torch, but the walls glow faintly, lit by words carved in languages you never learned, but somehow understand. At the top of the tower, a round room. Soft light, dust drifting slowly in the air. In the center, a low bed. On it, your other self. They lie curled beneath a blanket of moss and velvet, their face calm, their hands still. You do not wake them. You sit beside them, and for a moment, you feel entire, as though every version of you, the tired, the brave, the forgotten, has gathered here for just this hour. Outside, the mist presses tighter. Inside, the candle does not flicker. The siege grows gentle. You return to the lower levels. The rooms shift around you. This castle is alive, and it knows how to soothe its master. You pass a gallery of echoes, not art, but emotion. Each frame holds a feeling you've once felt, the sharp sweetness of first love, the ache of knowing you've disappointed someone, the warmth of being forgiven, the chill of hearing your name spoken by someone who has since forgotten you. The siege outside has not retreated, but neither has it advanced. It too is tired. It too is full of dreams. Rest within the wall. At last, you find your resting place. A chamber of velvet shadows. The floor is soft with old rugs. The windows are high and narrow, showing only clouds lit by moonlight that doesn't come from any moon you know. A bed waits, carved of old wood, lined with linen that smells faintly of juniper and coal smoke. You lie down slowly. The weight of your body settles like dust. The pillow cradles your head like a hand. Outside, the siege will wait. It always does. But tonight, the walls have held, not because you fought, but because you listened and remembered. The final whisper. As your eyes begin to close, you hear a voice. It does not come from outside. It comes from deep within the stone, from the marrow of the castle itself, and it says, "You are not lost. You are not broken. You are not alone. This place remembers you." And with those words, the siege ends, not with defeat, but with peace. You drift into sleep, true sleep, the kind that carries no fear, and the dream folds in around you, like a cloak made of silence, stitched from memory, lined with mercy. You are home. Let us begin with a breath. In, hold, out. Let your breath slow to match the rhythm of the hills. Let your limbs grow heavy, like folded parchment. Let the world around you blur. Let the sound soften. Let memory turn to mist. For this chapter begins not with war, nor castle, nor caravan, but with stillness, and one man, alone in a tower, listening to the stars. A monastery hidden by fog. The story begins far away, past the northern valleys where frost grows wild on the grass, past the villages where bells toll for saints no longer remembered, past the final outposts of maps where cartographers simply wrote, "Beyond this, silence." Nestled in a bowl of stone and pine, beneath a cliff shaped like a bored head, stands a monastery. It is not grand. It was never meant to be. Its walls are low and curved with time. Its roof bears the weight of many winters, and its towers lean gently east, as if listening to something distant. Crows circle above, not cawing, just drifting, like scraps of thought on the wind, and smoke curls upward from one tall chimney, carrying the scent of fir needles and something older, wax, ink, memory. Inside that tower, he waits. He does not wait for visitors. He does not expect to be found. And yet, you are already walking up the path to the tower. It's late afternoon, but the sun has not shone in days. The sky is made of wool, soft and grey. The forest is still. Snow lies in the shadows, melting slowly into earth scented with pine and cedar. The air smells clean. With each step, your boots press into damp earth. You pass moss-covered stones, an old wooden gate half open, an apple tree long gone wild. Birdsong has ceased, but you feel no fear. This place does not push you away. It simply watches. The hour of dusk. Inside the cloister, the walls hum with quiet. Stone warmed by centuries. Faint flickers of candlelight dancing along arched ceilings. Footsteps whisper on cold flagstones. You pass other monks. Their hoods are drawn. They move slowly, as if underwater. One carries a basket of herbs. Another, a scroll in both hands, as though it were made of breath. None speak, but they nod as you pass. The bell tolls once. Low, mournful, beautiful. It is the hour of dust, when all inkpots are sealed, when all reading ceases, when breath is spent in silence, and thought moves like drifting snow, except in one tower, one chamber, where the monk who draws the stars is still awake. Brother Adelin, his name is Brother Adelin. He speaks only once a year, but his silence is full of meaning. He has spent 3 decades in this place, not to escape the world, but to observe it from the edge. His robes are threadbare at the cuffs, his fingers stained with ink, his shoulders bowed from years of quiet reaching. He is not a scholar in the usual sense. He does not write treatises. He does not debate. He simply listens to the world, to the sky, to what exists beyond language. His task? To draw the stars, the celestial chamber. He climbs a narrow stair carved into the stone itself. You follow. Each step echoes like a raindrop in a cathedral. Each window you pass shows only fog, until finally you reach a round chamber beneath the roof. A room of silence, a dome of stone. It is nearly dark. A single oil lamp flickers, and above you, the ceiling is not a ceiling at all. It is covered in constellations, drawn in gold, silver, and copper leaf. Set against deep midnight blue plaster, each star placed with such care that they seem to glow from within. You feel the air shift. It smells of wax and cedar, cold iron, the inside of a well-used book, and faintly ash, like something once burned with reverence. This is his world, not a place of doctrine, but of distance, of wonder. The ritual of stars. Brother Adelin takes his seat before a desk smooth from years of hands resting upon it. He dips his quill into ink, then into silver dust, and he begins to draw. He does not look at charts. He does not gaze through telescopes. He remembers. Every star he places has a story, not of myth, not of science, but of someone. A girl who saw 3 stars on the night she was taken from home. A fisherman who prayed to a shape in the sky as his boat sank. A soldier who looked upward in his final hour and whispered a name he hoped would reach heaven. These stories are not written, only drawn. And now you offer yours. You remember a star, one from your own life. Maybe you were young, maybe afraid, maybe in love. Maybe it was a star you saw through glass, sitting beside someone who no longer speaks your name. You remember it, and Brother Adelin draws it. With one quiet breath, you are mapped into the sky. The sleep beneath the dome. Later, you lie down. The monk offers a cot made of linen and straw. It smells of lavender and old wool. He says nothing. You lie still. The dome of stars above you twinkles softly, not with magic, but with presence, as though each star, new and ancient, sees you, remembers you, and calls you by a name you haven't heard in years. You breathe in. The air is quiet, but deep. You feel no weight now, only warmth, only the hush of being witnessed by something greater and gentler. And as your breath deepens, your body growing still as stone, you hear a final whisper, not from the monk, but from the stars themselves. You were never forgotten. We have always known your light. Rest now, and so you do. Sleep deeply. You are no longer under the stars. You are among them, drawn in silence, by a monk who never needed to speak, because he remembered you, even when you forgot yourself. Close your eyes. Take a deep, slow breath in. Hold it like a secret. Exhale even slower. Let your body grow heavy, as if sinking into warm soil. Feel the earth beneath your feet, steady, patient, waiting. You're about to visit a village that lives on the edge of the world, where the trees lean close and the wind tells stories older than time. A village that holds its breath, caught between fear and hope, shadow and light. The village at dusk picture. A small village tucked between soft hills and a great forest. Its houses wear thick thatched roofs, golden as the late sun, and walls of timber and clay, rough beneath your fingertips. The fields around the village ripple like waves of wheat and rye. The air hums with the gentle drone of cicadas, their song a soft lullaby to the fading day. Smoke rises in pale spirals from chimneys. The scent of burning oak wood mingles with the sweetness of fresh bread, warm from the ovens lined with smooth river stones. Nearby, the old well stands mossy and worn, its water cool and clear, reflecting the rosy sky. The market square, you wander through the cobblestone streets toward the heart of the village. The market square. Today, it is quiet. Only a few figures move slowly near the well, their voices whispers like dry leaves brushing one another. Bundles of herbs hang from wooden beams, thyme, rosemary, sage, and lavender, their fragrances mingling in the cool evening air. From the smithy's forge in the distance comes the steady clink of hammer on metal, a rhythm that feels like a heartbeat, steady and calm. The stones beneath your feet are smooth from centuries of footsteps. Lovers, farmers, children, elders, each leaving an imprint only the earth remembers. The edge of the forest. At the edge of the village, where the shadows grow long and the trees lean close, stands a small cottage that looks unlike the others. Its walls are woven from branches and plaster, soft and rough, alive with creeping ivy and wildflowers blooming in late autumn's chill. A thin wisp of smoke curls from its crooked chimney, carrying the scent of mugwort, sweetgrass, and rose petals dried and burned. You approach quietly, the soft crunch of leaves beneath your feet, the only sound. The door opens with a creak before your hand reaches it, and a woman appears, cloaked in deep green, hair streaked silver like moonlight on leaves, eyes bright with a kindness born of time. This is Mara, the village witch. Inside Mara's cottage. The air inside is warm and dim, lit by flickering beeswax candles. Shelves crowd the walls, heavy with jars and bundles, roots, dried flowers, and powders in every shade of earth and sky. The scent of honey and pine resin fills the room, mingled with the gentle smoke of burning herbs. Mara moves with calm certainty, her hands weaving through the air as she mixes teas and tinctures, speaking softly in a voice like the rustle of leaves. She tells stories of plants that heal wounds, waters that carry memory, and songs that soothe restless hearts. Tonight, she prepares a remedy, not with fire or fury, but with patience, love, and deep wisdom. The village's shadow. The village has fallen under a shadow. A sickness came silently with the spring rains, stealing strength and quieting laughter. Whispers grew in the market square, like dry leaves in wind, fear and suspicion twisting together. Some villagers turned away from Mara, suspicion clouding their eyes. But others came quietly to her door, pale and trembling. Mara did not turn them away. She worked through the long nights, her hands steady as stone, weaving comfort from roots and herbs, her voice rising in soft prayers, carried upward like smoke through the rafters. Dawn of healing. As dawn's first light filters through the village, hope begins to stir. Those who were sick breathe more easily, their cheeks flushing with new color, their eyes clearing like a calm sky after storm. Children's laughter returns softly to the streets. The air grows thick with the scent of fresh earth and new beginnings. In the market square, wildflowers bloom in unexpected places, a quiet sign that magic lives not only in spells, but in the brave hearts who believe. Resting in the witch's glow. You sit by the hearth in Mara's cottage, the fire crackling softly, the room filled with warmth and the scent of pine and herbs. Mara offers you a cup of tea, fragrant with chamomile and honey. You sip slowly, letting the warmth spread like a gentle tide through your body. Outside, the village rests beneath a sky of stars, and you feel the steady, quiet magic of a world held together by kindness. Let yourself drift now. Feel the soft strength of Mara's magic wrap around you like a velvet cloak. Let the smell of herbs and burning wood settle deep in your lungs. Let the stories of healing and hope carry you into a calm, peaceful sleep. And as your breath slows, remember this. Even in the darkest nights there is light. Soft, steady, and unyielding. Close your eyes. Breathe in slowly and deeply. Feel the cool, pure air as it moves through your lungs, like mountain spring water. Let your body relax, sinking gently into the earth beneath you. There is no hurry here. No sound but the slow, steady heartbeat of the world itself. Allow yourself to drift deeper and deeper into this timeless place. The forgotten lands, imagine. Far away from the noise of cities and clamor of men. A vast land once alive with kingdoms, with bustling villages and grand castles, standing proud against the sky. Now, these places lie silent. Stone walls crumble beneath creeping ivy and moss, soft as 1,000 whispered memories. The roads that once carried merchants and pilgrims are cracked and overgrown, swallowed by grass and wildflowers nodding gently in the breeze. Trees tower over the land like ancient sentinels, their roots twisting through the ruins, weaving stories into the earth. Their leaves whisper secrets, brushing softly against the wind, soft murmurs of forgotten days. The air is thick with the scent of wet earth after rain, of fallen leaves slowly turning to soil, and the faint sweetness of wild blossoms hidden beneath thick underbrush. Walking through ruins, step carefully now, your footsteps muffled by thick carpets of moss and soft leaves. Around you rise the remains of once grand structures, pillars cracked and leaning like old friends sharing a secret, arches broken but still holding their grace against the sky. The stones are cool beneath your fingers, worn smooth by centuries of rain and wind. Wildflowers bloom boldly from cracks in the stone, their colors bright against the soft grays and greens of ruin. Vines twist and curl, wrapping the remains in nature's tender embrace. Look closely. The air smells of ancient wood smoke mingled with fresh rain, and a hint of pine resin carried on the breeze. You hear no footsteps but your own, only the soft rustle of leaves and the distant call of a lone bird, its voice a clear note piercing the silence before fading once more. The world's long sleep, this land sleeps, not dead, but resting, as if the world itself has closed its eyes beneath a blanket of moss and shadow, breathing slow and steady. Time flows here like a quiet tide, ebbing and flowing without sound or hurry. Find a gentle patch of earth beneath a towering oak tree, its branches stretching wide like open arms. Lie down now, feeling the soft cushion of fallen leaves beneath you, warm and slightly damp. The earth hums softly under your skin, alive with quiet, hidden life. Breathe deeply and feel the scents around you. Pine needles crushed beneath foot, the sweet decay of autumn berries, damp bark. A bird calls again, one clear note floating over the stillness. And then all is quiet. Memories whispering. Close your eyes and listen. Around you swirl the faintest echoes of lives long gone, memories that drift like mist through the trees. You hear the laughter of children chasing each other along sunlit paths, the gentle murmur of monks reading prayers by candlelight, the distant clash of swords and shouted commands, softened now by the endless passage of time. These memories swirl and fade, dissolving into the earth, becoming one with the moss and stone beneath you. Deeper into the dream, you drift deeper into this long, peaceful sleep. Above you, the sky moves slowly and silently. Stars wheel in endless arcs, weaving ancient patterns across the heavens. The moon rises and falls like a soft breath, bathing the sleeping land in silver light. The world around you grows still and calm. Only the slow, steady pulse of the earth beneath you remains, constant, strong, eternal. You feel yourself connected to the people who walked these lands before, to the ancient stones and towering trees, to everything that was and everything that will be. No hurry to wake. There is no need to open your eyes yet. You rest wrapped in the long sleep of the old world, held softly by moss and shadow, protected by the patient earth, cradled by the stories whispered through the wind. Let your breath grow quiet and slow, like falling leaves drifting to rest. Let your mind float like a feather on a gentle breeze. The long sleep will keep you safe and whole. The quiet return. When dawn comes, soft and golden, you will awaken. You will rise carrying the peace of this ancient land within you. A strength born of quiet patience. A calm that outlasts storms and time. But for now, let yourself go. Sink fully into the earth's embrace. Let the stars watch over you. And know that the old world sings you gently into endless rest.